Some calls in. Colin, Jersey starts us off. What's up, Colin?
Hi, Mike. How you doing?
Good. What's up?
I was just wondering about Eli Manning and what the Giants could get for them. I guess what would on the Jaguars side or a team that needs a quarterback, what do you think they'll be willing to give up for him? And if you're the Giants, what would you take for him? I guess the question.
I don't think it's going to come up. So I don't see they have a quarterback. I don't see they're in the market for a quarterback, and I don't think the Giants
or a team that would need a quarterback.
Where is the team? Who's the team?
I guess I would think the Jaguars would be the front runner, but
the Jaguars have decided they're not playing Bortles anymore, and now they're going out shopping for a quarterback and going to give up a lot to get him. I haven't seen them going to do that. I don't think.
Or on the Giants side, would it take a first or second round, or is Eli untouchable?
He's not untouchable. I don't think anybody's untouchable. I don't think Eli at this stage of his life would be untouchable, but I think that the Giants don't have a replacement, and the odds on that happening are extremely remote, and I don't even think it's worth speculating about it. I mean, I don't see it happening. I don't see this. I don't even think there's even a little chance that happens. First of all, NFL trades are very rare. Secondly, I don't think Jacksonville's looking to trade for a quarterback. I haven't seen any indication they're looking to do that. So, I mean, that's people just looking at Coughlin thinking there's a marriage there. That's all. And looking to move on. You know, when you move on, then you go on a quarterback search. Life changes dramatically. Now, the Giants have done a bad job this year anyway. So, I mean, things have not gone the way they had hoped, that's for sure. You know, they never got the season underway, and then everything fell apart. It happens sometimes. It can happen. You know, that was my point with Atlanta. Watch Atlanta. Do you know how much talent Atlanta has on that field right now? And they're losing games. They are loaded, and they're losing games. So, I mean, it can happen quickly in this league. You can spiral out of control very easily and very quickly. Joe in Oceanside. What's up, Joe?
How you doing, Mike?
Good.
Just want to talk last night about Kershaw. You know, Mike, it's funny. I'm a Dodger fan and a Cowboy fan, and I always looked in the light of Romo and Kershaw both needed a big performance in a big game to put their names on the map. A little differently because Kershaw is a Hall of Famer.
Very different performers, though. I mean, Kershaw's on a much higher level than Romo.
Right, but I thought if Romo had won the Super Bowl, he would be a Hall of Fame possibility. Kershaw's there already, but I was so glad for Kershaw to pitch last night well. I mean, you know, it's not even just the fact that I'm a fan of his, but he's a good guy. You know, you kind of root for good guys and guys who aren't troublemakers.
It was time for him to perform. I mean, listen, he had done everything in his life except perform great in the postseason. And there's other pitchers who have been really good who have struggled in the postseason. We know that. We can name them. But
yeah, I didn't want him to be in the category of the great Madden.
I mean, he has been. I mean, let's be honest. One game doesn't take him out of it. I mean, his lifetime numbers are very, very meager in the postseason compared to the regular season. He has a losing record, and he has an ERA in the high fours, which, you know, is a lot different than his regular season, where his ERA is like 2.2 for his career.
Right, it's true. But you want to know something? I know you can't extract games. But if you took away the Cardinal games where supposedly they knew his pitches, they were being tipped off. Without the Cardinal games, his performance isn't bad.
You know, the idea that they're being tipped off, I find very hard to believe. When he went to the seventh inning with a 3-hitter and then gave up an enormous home run to Adams. Right. I mean, it was really one pitch that decided that game. I mean, there were a couple other games where he got hit hard, but, you know, I'm not making excuses. It was nice to see him pitch that way. I was happy for him, I think, because he's been such a great performer in the regular season. I'm glad he's had his moment, but he's going to be asked to do it again here.
No question.
The idea is to deliver your team the title. Do whatever it takes. That's step one, and he's going to get asked for another step probably, and when he gets asked for the next step, close the door. Maybe he gets the clinching game, whatever it is, and if he does, you know, so be it for him. I mean, that's it. And then he pitches the clincher, and they win, or he wins 2 games, and they win in 6 games. No one's going to say a word about him again. That's going to be the end of it. And you're not going to hear it again once he does that. You know, you'd like to see him go win himself an MVP or something in the postseason, and then, you know, then it's over. Then he doesn't have to worry about it, and he can than just go about his finish on his way to the Hall of Fame, which is where he's headed anyway. Sonny in Malvern, what's up, Sonny?
Hey, Mike. Yeah, I think you're leaving at a good time. You're right. I think there's some lean years ahead for the New York sports.
No, I don't think that's true. I mean, it's been lean years for years and years. It doesn't impact the shows. The shows are okay. You don't have to have winning teams to have good shows. That's not necessary.
Yeah, but it helps. Listen, when the Giants are like the way they are, I'm not dying to tune into you to see what you got to say because there's not so much to say.
Listen, I've been through. Listen, I've been the last couple. But the Giants went through 3 straight losing seasons, so it didn't impact us. I mean, we've been through plenty of losing seasons with every team. That's not what I meant by that. It's just right now, none of the teams are doing really well. I mean, the other than the Yankees having a run this year, the other teams, all of them are doing badly. So it's just an unusual time right now. Nobody's doing well.
Right. As far as the World Series, Houston, I don't give them much of a chance. They can't count on Verlander to carry them through the World Series.
Why not?
That's 2 wins there, Mike.
Yeah, but why can't you? Why couldn't Verlander pitch well tonight and the series be 1-1 and Houston's in great shape? Why is Houston out of it after 1 game?
Because I didn't say they're out of it, but I don't see them winning it because their offense has been anemic most of the playoffs.
At home it has. At home it has it. It has on the road. But they faced Kershaw last night. That's not. Listen, if the Dodgers had lost last night, everybody would have been going crazy that the Dodgers were in huge trouble. 1 game. Listen, Houston wins tonight. They're fine. I mean, they just got to go out there tonight and win the game. And listen. I expect Verlander to pitch well tonight. He's pitched well every other game. I would expect him to pitch well. If they get a win tonight, they're in fine shape. I mean, they just need they can't lose tonight's game. I mean, they need to win tonight's game.
Right.
But that's the way the playoffs go. You can't lose. Listen, in a World Series or in any 7-game series, you lose 2 games in a row, you're in trouble.
Yeah, I know. People overreact after the first game.
If you lose 2 in a row, you're always in trouble. That's the way it goes.
Right. As far as Reese's press conference last night, who called that? What was that necessary for?
It's a bye week. That's why they did it. It's normal. It's normal. The coach will be out this week, too. The coach will be out in a couple of days with his State of the Union. During a bye week, they always do it.
Yeah, nobody really wants to hear from McAdoo at this point.
Sure they do. I want to hear from him. Yeah, he's on with us Monday. I want to hear from him. Why wouldn't you want to hear from him right now? Why wouldn't you want to hear from the coach when the team's 1-6?
Because he doesn't give you anything, Mike.
Come on, Sonny. I mean, please. I mean, thank God you're not doing this. You don't want to hear from the coach. I mean, what are you, out of your mind? Richie in Queens, what's up, Richie?
I got a question for you after 30 years of talking to you. Do you feel a little emotion as you're getting closer?
No. Not yet. Not yet. Maybe I will. I haven't really.
I'm just trying to picture, Michael, how you're going to be on that. Yeah, I know you're not going to be. You're not going to be Peyton Manning up at the podium. I know that's not you.
But
I'm just thinking. I spent 30 years, and obviously just not me. But I mean, I look back at certain things in my life and certain things that have happened, and whether it's history or whatever. And God, you've been there. You've been there forever. So it's going to be kind of
a very long time. Absolutely. Yeah, it's been a long time.
Michael, a couple of things, and I need your opinion on the last thing on Eli, because I heard you yesterday. The Steelers, I love this kid Watt. They look at times, they beat Kansas City all the time. You would think this could be the year they get over the hurdle, but somehow, some way, the Patriots will show up their defense, and they're fine. And the
Steelers aren't all on the same page. That's the problem with them.
Yeah, Mike, I want to talk about one more thing.
They're never on the same page, and I don't trust
them. But, Michael,
them.
do admit, I mean, sometimes their talent is good.
Well, they have talent.
What they did to the Bengals this week, it was unbelievable.
They have talent, but you got kids who want off the team, and you got players and other players not getting along, and there's always something wrong with the Steelers.
I agree.
I don't trust them. I don't trust them.
Mike, and the other thing with the Hall of Fame.
And Hall of Fame that we're talking about.
Yeah, about Eli, and Eli comparisons and people bringing up things about him, and my feeling is when you're a Hall of Fame, because I think you've felt the same way through the years, is that when you look at somebody, there should be no question. Like in baseball, to me, if there's a question, like a Puckett got in, and I thought he was a good ball player, Beltran will be another one that gets thoughts. I don't think of them quick as Hall of Famers. Football is so tuned into Super Bowls. Nobody knows that baseball players never won a World Series. They look at them and say, look at his stats, look at his numbers. When you look at all the great quarterbacks, and I've always been I've always thought Eli was a very good quarterback. I don't think he's a Hall of Fame quarterback. It's always going to be, but Eli won 2 championships. Can't take that away, Mike. But the body of work is something that you look at other quarterbacks, and there's not even a question whether they won or not, whether it's Marino or somebody, he never won a championship vouch, but you just knew that these guys were elite quarterbacks. Never thought Eli was an elite quarterback. I thought he was elite in the playoffs for those 2 years.
Eli's not Dan Marino, but a lot of guys aren't Dan Marino.
But again, Mike, this is a stupid statement.
But Eli isn't John Elway.
Right,
but those guys are they're immortal players.
Right. If he has one Super Bowl, and he has two, if he has one, does he get in?
No.
Okay.
And I'm not sure he's going to get in now. I mean, he might have to do more to get in. But the point is, he's going to have very high lifetime stats. He's going to have played 1 million games. And
I just like the fact
and he's got a lot of wins in big spots. If he gets one more good playoff run, he'd be a lock to get in. He has a habit of playing well in the playoffs. A lot of guys don't. He has a habit of playing better in the playoffs than he does. See, we always grade highly of players who play better in big games than they do regularly. Eli's the exact example of that. He plays better in big games than he does in regular games. Absolutely does. Most guys don't. He does. His brother doesn't. He does. But he's not on the level with Peyton Manning and Tom Brady and John. See, to me, people forget about Dan Marino. Dan Marino's one of the greatest players. I mean, Dan Marino's as good a quarterback as there's ever lived. I know he never won a Super Bowl, sorry, but you can't play the position better than Dan Marino. I know he didn't win a Super Bowl. I understand that. And he didn't win a playoff game for 20 years on the road. Eli's won 5. And in tough spots. But, I mean, I'm not trying to tell you that Eli's Dan Marino. I mean, Dan Marino you don't get many guys better than Dan Marino. He was that good. I know he never won a championship. And championships have become, in football, the Super Bowl has become so big that it's become really a criteria for quarterbacks, a criteria. And it's come that way in the NBA now, where they define you by titles rather than anything you do during the regular season. And it's become that way with quarterbacks and Super Bowls. I mean, you're almost treated badly if you don't do it. So, and that's not always accurate either, but there is a great separation between the NFL and the postseason, the NFL and the regular season. There's no question there is. Here's the Mink Man.